Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to install and set up FanControl and then walk you through creating custom fan curves for much smoother and more refined control over your system's cooling. FanControl is a completely free and lightweight app that gives you full manual control over every PWM or DC fan in your PC, case fans, AIO fans, and in most setups even your GPU fans. Now you can use the fan options inside your BIOS, but for a lot of people that can feel confusing or overwhelming, and you also have to restart your PC every time you want to tweak something. FanControl solves all of that by letting you adjust everything right from Windows in real time. Before we jump into FanControl, we need to quickly cover the different ways PC fans can be connected. This is important because depending on your case or motherboard, you might not actually see any normal fan headers to plug into, especially in cheaper pre-built systems. So option 1 is motherboard fan headers. These are the standard 3-pin or 4-pin connectors. If your fans are plugged into these, FanControl will be able to detect and control them with full PWM or DC support. Option 2 is splitters or fan hubs. Some setups use a splitter cable or a hub where several fans all run from one header. This still works with FanControl, but all the fans on that splitter will be controlled by the same fan sensor and they'll run at the same speed. Option 3 is SATA powered fan controllers. Certain budget cases come with a built-in fan control powered by SATA. Fans connected here usually run at a fixed speed or only have basic low and high buttons. These will not show up in FanControl because they're not connected to the motherboard at all. And for option 4 we have Molex fans. Pretty rare now, but some older or cheaper cases still use Molex. These run at full speed and can't be controlled by software. So if your fans don't appear inside FanControl, it's probably because they're connected through one of those SATA or Molex hubs instead of the motherboard. As long as at least one fan header is available, then any fans that are connected to that header will be detected by FanControl. Alright, so now for installing FanControl. Head over to a browser of your choice and just search for FanControl. The first result will come up and it will be fancontrol.com, so we're going to open it up. And this is the website for it. So what we're going to do is click on download v251 and it's going to ask you if you want to install a portable version or the actual installer. For this example I'm going to be doing the installer, so we're going to click on here and then it's going to go ahead and download for you, and once that's done you can double click on here. So now we'll go through and accept the agreement. You can change your installation location if you want, and you can also create a desktop shortcut. Once that's done you can launch FanControl. It may or may not ask you to install the .NET runtime things. If it does, follow the link, direct link, and once that's done you can go ahead and install this. For some of you it might not have popped up if you've already had it installed. So now just search for FanControl and it is going to pop up and give you this prompt: Pawn IO installation required. So basically, long story short, older versions of FanControl were using the WinRing 0, and what that was causing was issues with Windows Defender or any sort of security. It was prompting FanControl as some sort of malware or something along them lines. So the Pawn IO is basically the kernel driver for FanControl to work without any hiccups or any prompts that it's malware, and it's absolutely safe to install. For the previous few versions this has been what you need to use, so we're going to go ahead and install it here and we're going to hit OK and it's going to tell us that it was installed. Now you'll be met with the actual FanControl interface and you can go ahead and do the assisted setup. Now for the actual sensor settings, this is basically where you can decide what devices can be controlled via FanControl. Now for the most part we're mainly focused on CPU and GPU, but here is everything I have selected and we're going to hit OK. As mentioned, it's going to go ahead and kind of identify or calibrate all the fans. It's basically going to be setting all the fan controllers to certain percentages, like right now it's 75%. You may be able to hear it in the background, the fans ramping up on my PC, but let's go ahead and fast forward this part. it's going to go ahead and check all the fan sensors on your motherboards. So it'll go through fan 1, 2, 3. Once it's found all them sensors, it will pop up with a box, and we can continue with the next step. Alright guys, so the next step is, now that it's identified all the fan headers, we are going to have to name them ourselves so we know what fans each of these headers or sensors are actually controlling. Now of course I've got 3 fans it's recognized, and the 2 for the graphics card, but these are already named so we know what they're for. Now this is the next part that you've got to figure out for yourself, and I will just put a little bit of footage on screen. So currently my PC is set up with bottom intake and top exhaust being the AIO, and the only reason for that is because one pack of the new fans I bought weren't working, so they have gone back. Now basically what you want to do is go ahead and figure out what all of these headers are, and let's say for example we put this fan 1 to maximum. We're going to be looking at our PC at all the fans and listening. You can also use your hand to be above the fans to feel the airflow yourself, but I already know due to the high RPM that this is actually my AIO pump, so I can name it that, and I will always leave my pump at 100. So we've already got one down, and now we only need to figure out which fans are the intake and which fans are the exhaust. And like I said, if you look on screen now, I'm going to put one of these to 0. And if we look inside our PC, we can actually see that the bottom intake fans have actually fully stopped. So fan sensor 2 is intake. You can put bottom as well, or whatever kind of orientation or setup you have. And that means this one here is our AIO exhaust, so the fans on the water cooler. And now we can put the intake fans back up for now. And we've got this all set up, so we have all of them labeled. We're going to hit OK, and then if you want FanControl to start up and log on, you can do that, and you can select start minimized. I will show you how to force it to start up, because I've found that sometimes it won't start up. It's a bit of a bug I think, but usually it'll start up with no issues. Alright, so I may or may not have forgot to show you the method if it is not starting up with Windows. Hit your Windows key and R, and what you want to search is shell and the 2 little kind of dots like for a smiley face, and then start up. And what we basically want to do is add FanControl in here as a shortcut. So to do that, we're going to basically open another file explorer here, and then wherever FanControl was installed, we're going to go ahead and find it. So for me it's program files x86 FanControl. And basically what we want to do is find the FanControl.exe, and we want to go ahead and create a shortcut, and that should pop up underneath. If not, it's going to pop up at the bottom, and you want to copy this shortcut, close this, and then paste the shortcut in here. This will help if your FanControl is not starting up, and when I say starting up, I just mean running quietly in the background down here, because that's how it should work. And just another quick one as well, you can change this to start up faster than 30 seconds, but I found that sometimes it won't if you change it too low. So maybe if you're happy to just leave it for 30 seconds, before you know it, the FanControl will be kicking in and controlling your fans to your curve that you've set up. So from here, like I said, you can actually go ahead and you can do manual control, and you can force apply. You could do that for all of these. And then that way, if you want to keep them manual control, so you just have this open, or you open it from the bottom right every time, and you can adjust it higher if you're playing a game for example, or put them lower. This is an absolutely fine way to do it. Now it's obviously all going to be dependent on your setup and how you've got things configured, or even how loud your fans are. Right now the PC isn't very loud, and that's with fans at around 40-30% across the board. But part of this video I really wanted to talk about was the setting up a fan curve. So if we go ahead to this plus sign down here and go to graph, we're going to create a fan curve for our AIO so that it reacts to the temperature of our CPU. So if we just put AIO, or let's put CPU for example, because this is based on the CPU temperature, we're going to come down here to where it says temperature source and click anywhere here. I'm going to find the highest sensor on the CPU, which is this one here. So from here, what we can actually do is set up our custom fan curve. So I know already that my Ryzen 7 9800X3D, it idles at around 45 to 47, and it doesn't matter what cooldown I'm using, that's just how it idles. So anything below that isn't going to make much of a difference anyway. So what we're going to do is set this up so that it's kind of quiet at idle, and as it ramps up, this is something you're going to have to try out for yourself, see what is best for you, for fan noise as well as performance as well. But realistically, you want some sort of curve that just slowly creeps up. As you can see here, as the temperature's at 60, the fan curve increases, and obviously the fans will ramp up. Now at 85 C, the fans will be at 93%, so pretty much full blast. It'll be really loud. You could drag this further across so it's more like 92 C, that fans really ramp up. You can see from 80 C, 80%, all the way to 91 is kind of quite a big jump. But you can set this up however. I'm just using this as an example. So from there, if we now say click OK there, and for the AIO, we remove the manual control. And you see here where it says curve, you want this enabled so it's green. And we're going to put it on CPU. And what you're going to see is that actually the AIO fans are going to be controlled by this sensor now. So if we were to open something like SpecBench, and my CPU does get very hot under stress tests, under full load, so I don't need a reminder that it's getting really hot, I am aware. So let's just start the test and look at the fan curve. So we can see straight away, and you will probably hear it in a minute, the fans have ramped straight up. We're at 90 C right now, and the fan curve is at 87%. We're not hitting the thermal limit at all, but the fans have spiked all the way up, and we haven't changed anything, as in we haven't manually done anything. We're just letting the PC or the graph do its own thing. It's just ramping up for us when we need it to. This would be the same for when you're going into a game. As the CPU draws more power or temps increase, so will the fan speeds of your AIO. You can also do the same for the case fans if you want. So let's stop this test now. And as you can see, the AIO fans have ramped all the way back down, and it's going back to a normal kind of noise level. And so is the temperature as well. So that's kind of how it works. You can do the same thing with your graphics card. Once again, go to graph, put GPU, and we can change the temperature source to the RTX 5080. And we could have a very minute kind of curve all the way from here, and then we could have it after 67, we could have it spike all the way up. Realistically, if a card is hitting 90 or 80 C, it needs the fans at full blast, it probably needs a repaste, but we could have a curve like this. So at idle, it'd just be chilling. We could have it even lower if we wanted to, and then as we start going into them temperatures that is quite common for a graphics card, when it's gaming, it's going to jump up, and then if the card's running really hot, the fans are also going to jump up like that as well. So then we'd come over to here, we'll unselect manual control for both the graphics cards, or should I say both the graphics card fans, and then we're going to select GPU, and just like that, our GPU now will react to this fan curve we have set up inside of here, and currently it's at 29%, and the GPU is saying cool. So this is exactly what I do for my PC, and like I said before, if you really want the same thing for your case fans, you can do another one. Or what I often do is, because for me the most temperature sensitive part of my PC is the CPU. It gets very hot, I'm always playing CPU intensive games. That's what I'm mainly worried about or trying to keep down, because I know that my GPU runs cool because it's brand new. So what we can do with the intake bottom, if I really wanted to, is we can unselect manual control again, and I could have this being controlled by the CPU temperature. So at the moment, we've obviously got it running around the same as the exhaust here. Of course, in an ideal setup, you'd have a couple more intake fans, or you'd have these running manually and make sure for the most part they are set up at a higher RPM than your exhaust, so you have positive airflow. But anyway, that is roughly how I set up the fan control. If you do have any questions, feel free to comment down below. But for now, that's the video done. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.